So Picard season 3 is out, and so is the jury, because I think it is being met essentially by positive reviews, left, right, and center. The people who hated the identity politics that had seeped into Star Trek, and they hated it and hated all that stuff. They seem to be liking Picard now, because they're kind of doing a show which is, ending an era. And I think that's kind of what they have to do if they want to move on with Star Trek. I don't think people are necessarily going to like the new characters that are to come. I don't think they're done yet in terms of the, reintroducing characters. Although they do seem to be focusing on the next generation team. I would not be surprised if we're about to see some characters from Deep Space Nine. I definitely think I'm going to do spoilers here. Well, the kind of spoilers, they're my view of what's going to happen next, and that is what is going to happen next. It's fun. I mean, this is what I'm enjoying about watching Picard at the moment. Is kind of working out what they're going to do. I thought that they were going to see them return to the saucer section of the Enterprise D. I should have worked out that because we didn't see the Enterprise D at the museum, that Geordi should have done what he did and he had that reveal. Although it's a hell of a thing to keep as a surprise. You'd think he'd be tweeting about it. Working on the Enterprise D, guys. My overview, my general criticism are kind of silly. One is that I've never liked the gloominess of the Titan. It's the USS Titan. I don't like how gloomy it is. It's like, how can people live in that gloom? It just seems like Starfleet wouldn't do that. It's like we would put them in such a dark, dingy ship. And I know it's kind of like, what? I know, but it just doesn't. It didn't fit right for me. I thought, but I realized why they did that. I'll talk about that in a sec. The original Star Trek Next Generation was all about the captain. Picard was in charge. He was the main, character in the show. Everything revolved around his say-so. He was treated with reverence when he walked down the hallways. People bowed to him. They treated him with respect. He commanded respect. And there was definitely a hierarchy on the ship and in terms of behavior. If anyone came aboard who, regardless of whether they're being more senior to him, he called the shots. It was his ship. And in this show, that just seems to have gone to pot in Starfleet, because the captain of the Titan, I know he's very popular, but he is also kind of being completely ignored. And I know that that's creating comedy moments, but I just don't think that would ever happen. I don't know how he would. I mean, I need to see more about how he has the qualities of being a captain, I guess. And I know this is kind of, they're trying to make an entertainment show and all that. But it just bugged me because I love the Next Generation, and I kind of was hating how I was seeing this. One of my favorite Captain Picard possibly had become this old and super soft, sort of wimpy man, and that's how I felt the character wasn't right. And it's almost like Patrick Stewart didn't like how Picard was, and wanted to make him more of a loved, more humanitarian, not humanitarian, but more kind of compassionate seeming guy. Whereas before, I liked that he was somebody who hid his emotions, was uncomfortable with himself, but had a massive, overwhelming amount of harbored so much hurt and pain in that character. And then now we're seeing him just all loosened up with it. And I don't know if that's something that happens to you when you get older. I think almost the opposite happens. I don't know. You get more conservative when you get older. It's kind of, and this Picard kind of whimpering away is how it came across to me. But then again, season 3 won me over. I was kind of liking everything I saw. I felt like the writing had picked up. I think the whole thing is filmed beautifully, like cinema. It's done in 21:9. It's muted colors. I don't know if it's actually shot on film or not, but the lighting is certainly not flattering to the elder generation. Lots of shadows on the faces. And I realized that the whole thing about the lighting was deliberate. I think it was deliberate. This is my claim that thank you, Willem, for the subscription. I think that what happened was as they, when they walk out onto the ship of, spoiler, by the way, they walk out, stop watching. If you don't want that, I'm going to say what happens. They start walking out onto the bridge of the Enterprise D, and what an amazing moment that is. How we all got so excited by some CGI graphics. It was just, and the music was just incredible. The subtle interweaving of, is it the Final Frontier theme, which is what Star Trek Generations adopted? I don't know. I just thought it was all really, really well done, and quite, I'm not an emotional man, but I could see that they were doing some magic, Star Trek magic there. And then when they walk onto the bridge, it reminded me of, when Dorothy walks through the door, and it's all sepia, black and white, if you like, sepia. She walks through the door, and suddenly it's a bloom of color everywhere as we see the land of Oz. That's what it reminded me of as they walked out onto the Enterprise. We started seeing all the muted beiges and the red line edging and the grey carpet and the lovely sort of beige chairs and everything and the wood of the console. It was just brilliant. And, on those iconic computer systems, the LCARS designs, just brilliant. And it was so good to see that again. It was slightly muted lighting. It wasn't as stark as you got, but it definitely reminded me of Dorothy walking out into the land of Oz. And I kind of tweeted that out just now. I think it's Matlis, the director. I can't remember his first name, but good job. I think that was your plan, but you left us like in 8 episodes of gloom just to get us into Land of Oz. And now for the rest of the show, we're gonna have this bright, colorful set as they do their deed. Now, here's I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll just finish up talking about my predictions for what's going to happen next on Star Trek Picard. And if you don't want to listen, you can switch off there. But I think, thank you very much, Sebastian. I'm so sorry. I need to turn the noise sound down when the subscriptions come in. What's I going to say? Yes. All right. We have the character of Jack, who's is revealed to become like he's going to be Vox, and we have this new form of Borg, which seems to have some sort of organic element to them now. So they can there's like the evolution of the Borg, if you like, and the it's interesting that Terry Matalas is the director, and he's done 9 and 10. The 10th episode that we haven't seen yet is called The Last Generation. The first episode was called The Next Generation. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Are they going to die? It does seem to be a little bit of an introduction to new characters. I think the character of Jack, who I haven't cared about for the entire season, I just couldn't care less where he lived or died. He just seemed like really annoying to me. A little bit theatre in how he was acting. I just wasn't keen. Sorry. I didn't like him very much. I didn't care. I don't really care about Georgie's kids either. I think I'm supposed to, and I think that we've been introduced. I think as that they're like part of the family, and of course they are the kids of the main cast. But I'm thinking that is this kind of like launching them as new cast members. So sorry about this. Batman's just subscribed to me. That's how good. I get Spider-Man soon. I don't know. See what happens with it, but it is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see Cisco yet. I think we're going to see Cisco, and I think that it is basically going to be the two brothers fighting, Wes and Jack fighting each other. Is my prediction for The Last Generation, and maybe I don't know. I just hope everyone lives, kinda. I hope nobody gets killed. That would be heartache for, but if Picard dies, oof. I'm almost loving the idea, just thinking about it. What do you think? How are you feeling about it? What do you think about my take on that through the Dorothy going into the Land of Oz thing? I definitely feel that was in the mind of either the DOP or the cinematographer or the director. Maybe, I don't know, it felt like such a stark difference. I don't know if it was intentional, but they just thought, oh, this would be a good idea. But it is nice to see things brightening up, and it's nice to see the Enterprise D. And oh my God, you know, the whole bit around the museum is just a very good idea. They've caught me out. Every time I've tried to second guess what they're doing, they've caught me out. So I'm probably way off the mark with Wes and it being a two-brother fight at the end. But we'll see. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.